This is page 884 homework. We want to match these up here with this here. Okay, think about this. It's going to be, the sign's going to be two negatives, and it's not a difference of squares like plus minus, right? So this is going to be two positives, so it's B. This is going to have to be negative times a negative, so that's going to be D. Yeah, so x minus 5y and x minus 5y, which is C. And then here we have the difference of squares, x and x minus 5y plus 5y. That's A. And same thing, difference of squares, 5y, 5y, x and x. This is D. Number 2. Okay, we're thinking about the difference of cubes here, sum and difference of cubes. So A here, okay, be 2x times 2x times 2x. Okay, starts there. If it's a minus here, the first one's going to be minus, so that's B. Okay, 2x and x, okay, once again, and if this is plus, this is going to be the first one plus. And this just switches around, it's be 3 times 3 times 3, minus 2x, 2x, 2x. Okay, it's choice A. Number 3, we want to factor these here. And it says here to just use the greatest common factor on these first ones. So greatest common factor, I can take a 4 out. There's a k squared in each of those. And there's m to the third in each of them. If I take those out, I have 1 left there. 2, and I need 2 more k's. And the m's are good. And 4 times 3 is 12. I already have 2 k's. I need 1 more m. Number 4, once again, greatest common factor here. 28, 7, 30. We take a 7 out. We got r to the third. And s squared s. Okay, so we can just take 1 s out of all of them. So 7 times 4 is 28. We need 1 more r to make 4. And 1 more s. Plus, that everything is there, so we don't, just a 1. 7 times 5 is 35. We need 1 more r and 2 more s's. 13. Okay, we want to solve by grouping here. So group the first 2 and the second 2. First 2, I can take out a 3 and a t, left with 2s plus 3. Want the signs to match, so I'm going to take a negative 5 out. Makes 2s plus 3. And then my factors would be 2s plus 3 would be one factor. And what's being distributed to those is the 3t minus 5. Okay, so once again, factor by grouping. So I can take a 2b out here, would be 5a minus 3. Take a 7 out here, would be 5a minus 3. So 5a minus 3 is one factor, and the 2b gets distributed through, and the 7. 15, we got 10x squared minus 12y plus 15x minus 8xy. Group it. Take a 2. I think I need to regroup these. Let's do 10x squared plus 15x minus 12, 8xy minus 12y. Let's try that. So I take a 5x out, 3 2x plus 3. I can take a negative 4y out. That would be positive 2x. Take a negative, that makes a positive plus 3. So now I got them the same. So now it's going to be 2x plus 3 is one factor, and 5x minus 4y is the other factor. So that was a little tricky because we had to rearrange those there a little bit. When you're looking at that, try and get like your, notice here the x's together and the y's together sort of idea. So 2m to the fourth plus 6 minus a m to the fourth minus 3a. Okay, now think about these. Probably going to get these matched together. So I'm probably going to write it as 2m to the fourth minus am to the fourth, and then minus 3a plus 6. We'll see how that works. Maybe we'll have to switch them around. We'll see. Group the first two. I can take an m to the fourth out. I have 2 minus a. Yeah, let's actually switch these around. Let's do 6 minus 3a, because you notice how that's a's last, right? So I can take 2 out, and then I have, I'm sorry, 3 out, and then I have 2 minus a left. Gives me factors of m to the fourth plus 3 times 2 minus a. Number 20. Sorry, I just looked at what my screen will look like. Hopefully you can see that. Notice I wanted to get these to match up, right? So I switched those around there. It's 6 minus 3a. Okay, number 20 is 6a squared minus 48a minus 120. I'll move it up so make sure you guys can see it here. So the first thing I look for is GCF, and I can take out a 6. Okay. Then I'm going to figure out what those numbers are for that. A times a is a squared. Be minus 10 and plus 2. Multiply to give you that, and add to give you that. 21 is 8h squared minus 24h minus 320. I'm guessing it's going to be an 8 we can take out. 320 divided by 8 is 40. Take an 8 out, so I have h squared minus 3h minus 40. Okay, I have h times h, and I think it's going to be 8 and 5. Negative 8 plus 5 will give me the negative 3. 22 is 3m to the third plus 12m squared plus 9m. And divide a 3 and an m out of all of them. So I have m squared plus 4m plus 3. And plus 3 and plus 1. 3 times 1 is 3. And add to be 4. Okay, number 23 is 9y to the fourth minus 54y to the third plus 45y squared. Okay, I know I can take y squared out, and I can also take a 9 out of all those. So that means y squared minus 6y plus 5. Y times y, negative 5 and negative 1, multiply to give you positive 5, that would be negative 6. Number 24. 6k squared plus 5kp minus 6p squared. Okay, just because there's two variables, don't get too confused. Okay, there's no GCF. You can either use 6k and k, or you might be 3k. Okay, I'll just peek at the answers. It's going to be 3k and 2k. Okay, now to get this 6p squared, it's going to be 3p times 2p, one negative, one positive, or 6p and 1p. Okay, you just kind of keep working them out until you find them. I'll use pencil and just kind of work through that, thinking about it. So let's say I went with this one here. Let's say I use -3 and +2. Okay, that would give me 12 minus 3 is not 5. And 18 minus 2 is not 5. So the 2 and the 3 don't work up there. If I use the 6, that would be 36. That's going to be too big. And if I use 1 and 6 and 1, that's going to not work either. Okay, so I know that one doesn't work. Down here, if I put the -2 and a +3 here, that gives me 9 minus 4, which is 5. So I found the right number there. 25. Okay, there's no GCF here. So it might be 14m times 1m. It might also be 7m times 2m. And then 15 is either 3 times 5 or 1 times 15, one of them being negative. So if I just put them in there, I don't think 14 is going to give me this, because 14 times 3 and 14 times 5 and 1 and no, that's not going to work when I put those in there. 7 times 3, 21 minus 10 gives me the 11 I need. Yep, so that's right. So plus 5 and minus 3. Make sure it's right. Oh, I forgot the R's at the end, didn't I? Same thing up here. I forgot the P's at the end. Okay. Oh, -21 plus 10 is -11. I need +11. So, there we go. Now we got it right. 26. 5a squared minus 7ab minus 6b squared. Okay, so the only thing we can do here is 5a and a. And then to get 7, it's either 6 times 1 or 3 times 2, one of them being negative. So if I use 6 and 1, that's going to be 30. That's not going to be too big. And yeah, that's not going to work. So let's do -3 and +2. That would be 10 minus 3 would be 7. I need -7, so -10 plus 3, and I put the b's there as well. Okay, 32 to 34. Okay, here's 32, still in the camera. 9m squared minus 12m plus 4. No GCF. These are all perfect square trinomials, it says. So we're going to use the perfect square. So 3m and 3m. Signs are going to have to be a negative times a negative, and 2 times 2. Another way to write that is 3m minus 2 squared. Now this is going to be very important for tomorrow's working class, thinking about this squared in this term right here. Okay. 33. 16p squared minus 40p plus 25. Once again, it says a perfect square trinomial, so let's try 4p and 4p. And signs are going to have to be negative times 5 and -5. So that's -20 and -20 give you -40, which is 4p minus 5 quantity squared. 34. We have 32a to the second minus 48ab plus 18b squared. Now, notice they wanted the perfect square trinomial, so these aren't perfect squares there. So, greatest common factor would be 2. And then I'm left with 16a squared, 24ab plus 9b squared. Now we got perfect squares there. So, 8a, 8a. Once again, signs are both going to be negative, 3b and 3b. Or write it as 2 times 8a minus 3b squared. Number 41. It's a difference of squares here. 9a squared minus 16. So 3a minus 4 and 3a plus 4. 42. 16q squared minus 25 is 4q minus 5, 4q plus 5. 43, 25s to the 4th minus 9t squared is 5s squared. Okay, gives the 4th, and then minus 3t and plus 3t. Number 44, 36z squared minus 81y to the 4th be 6z times 6, why did I write 3? 6z times 6z and minus 9y squared plus 9y squared. 51. Yes, we're getting to the cubic ones. 8 minus a to the 3rd. Okay, so we're thinking what's being cubed here. The a is right over here. The a is 2 times 2 times 2, and the b is a times a times a. That's what's being cubed in both of these. So the pattern is 2 minus the a, and then we have the 2 squared, which is 4, plus, because that's minus, multiplied together is 2a, and lastly the a squared. R to the 3rd plus 27. So the r times r times r, and 3 times 3 times 3. That's a plus again, so we're going to have a plus r, not a, plus 3 times r squared minus, multiplied together, 3r, and 3 squared is 9. Okay, 53, 125x to the 3rd minus 27. So what's being cubed here is 5x times 5x times 5x, and 3 times 3 times 3. So it's 5x minus 3. Square this is 25x squared, plus, since that's minus, multiply together, 15x squared is 9. 54, 8m to the 3rd minus 27n to the 3rd. So 2m times 2m times 2m, and 3n times 3n times 3n. So we have 2m minus 3n, squared it, 4m squared, plus, multiplied together, 6mn, and 3 squared is 9n squared. And we're doing this until 56, and then 62 and 63. Okay, 55. 27y to the 9th plus 125z to the 6th. So this would be 3y to the 3rd times 3y to the 3rd and 3y to the 3rd. This would be 5z squared, 5z squared, 5z squared. So 3y to the 3rd plus 5z squared. Square this would be 9y to the 6th minus, multiplied together, 15y to the 3rd z squared plus this squared is 25z to the fourth. 56. Okay, so this would be 3z times 3z times 3z. 729. I'm not sure about that. I'm going to go the cubed root of 729. That's 9. So 9y times 9y times 9y. Ooh, I think we might have. We actually have a greatest common factor here, notice. Okay, so let's factor out a greatest common factor of 27. That'll make this a little easier. Then we'll be left with z to the third plus, divide this by 27, you get 27, y to the third. That'll make it a whole lot easier. Okay, so we have 27, z, and this would be z, this would be 3y times 3y times 3y. So plus 3y, and then squared, multiplied together, and squared. Okay, 62. Okay, so once again, 3 terms. We're going to do this. This would be m squared times m squared. And 10 would be negative 5 and 2 to give you negative 3. Neither of those are perfect squares, so you're done. Last one, 63. Okay, no greatest common factor, 3 terms, let's do this. A squared and a squared be negative 8 and plus 6. Not a difference of squares, not a sum difference of cubes, you're done.